Hello folks, I'm John, and today I have a model from Atlas that I'd like to share with you. So let's go over to the workbench and take a look. Alright, so here's what we're looking at today. This is an O Scale 40-foot Airslide covered hopper. This model comes from Atlas, and it's in their Master Series. One of the cool things that they mention on the website is that this is an actual true 1/4 inch scale model. So this is what we refer to as Proto 48. Looking at Atlas's website, I'm going to tell you that there are a lot of different road names and numbers on this. The 3-rail version goes for $74.95 MSRP, and the 2-rail version, which is what we're looking at here, goes for $79.95. I should also mention that the 3-rail version, according to the website, has a minimum diameter curve of 0.27. The minimum radius curve for the 2-rail version is 24 inches, and I think it's probably best for you just to go to Atlas's website and find out if they have the road name you're looking for, because there's too many to mention here. If you've been watching my channel for long at all, you know that the Burlington Northern is one of my favorite paint schemes. This green, Cascade green, I think is what they call it, a paint job. And the paint on this model is remarkably good. I would even go as far as to say it's perfect. There's no gaps or anything going on in the seams. It's just remarkably well done. And the detail on this model is also very good. I'm just looking at the side view here, and you can see there's some separately applied grabs in here. These are wire grabs. It looks like the stirrup might also be separately applied. It's kind of hard to tell, but there's a little tiny grab here. There's a bunch of discharge gate detail down here that's visible from the side. We'll look at that in more detail when we get to looking at the bottom. But the other thing is to look all the way over to the right side and notice the fine wire grabs that make up this ladder over here. It's really well done. Taking a look at the brake end now, you can see in a little bit more detail just how fine these wire grabs are. And these are separately applied pieces. It's always remarkable to me how evenly the people at the factory apply these things. I guess repetition, right? Practice makes perfect, and they make a lot of cars like this for Atlas. Something I'm noticing looking at this model just from sitting here, the end platform here is really well done. And I'm kind of doing a spoiler here because you can't really see that. We'll look at that when we look at the top of the car. But the brake platform is see-through, and the brake wheel and associated detail is all separately applied. If you look way back in here, you can see that there's a bunch of brake detail. I see a air reservoir, a bunch of piping, and I'm not sure. This might be a triple valve. It's hard for me to tell from this angle, but there's a lot of detail going on behind this other detail, and it looks really good. So looking at the brake end from this angle, hopefully you can see the extra detail I was talking about back in here. I've lit it in a way to hopefully make that a little more visible on camera here. So I'm just going to take you all the way around the car. Once again, from this side, you can see the detail as it's rolling down the track. And the side, the paint is also, perfect. I don't see anything going on here that anybody would object to. And we'll have a brief look at the A end. The A end on these cars is kind of boring, but you can see all that same kind of separately applied thin wire detail. It looks really good. I've tilted the car at a slight angle so that you can see how good the hatch detail is on this car. And this roof walk is a separately applied roof walk. It looks to me like it's plastic, but it almost looks like a photo etched piece. And that goes for these end platforms as well. They look really good. And the grabs on the end platforms are actually separately applied parts. So we'll have a brief look at the bottom of the car. Down here you can see that there is brake detail added all in here. You can see it's separately applied. Do you see how that's moving when I touch it with my skewer? And then your discharge gate detail that's visible from the side is right here. This is also a lot of separately applied stuff. And then according to the website, these are 33-inch scale wheels. They're metal, of course. And then the trucks are going to be either 70-ton roller bearing or Bettendorf trucks. It depends on the prototype, which I think is a pretty cool touch. You know, a lot of times a model company will just make a car like this and they'll have the details be all the same, and the only thing they change is the paint scheme. And that leaves work for the modeler to change out the trucks. Well, in this case, you don't have to worry about that. And since it's visible from this angle, I'll point out that the knuckle coupler is a body-mounted coupler on both sides. This is another really great-looking model from Atlas. I find that all of those individually applied wire grabs that make up the ladders on the ends look especially good. And I'm also really fond of all that detail that's behind the detail on the brake end. All the reservoir and piping and stuff looks really good. So good job, Atlas, and I'll see you next time.